What if I told you there was an NFT combining Bitcoin mining using renewable energy as well as the lowest energy cost I've ever seen, combining all of that with antimony refining, putting that into one NFT which could potentially earn you up to $100 per month? We are talking about alpha mining NFTs. We're going to give you all the details about their white paper today, so stay tuned and enjoy the video. Mining NFTs have had a huge success in the past. Thinking of Bitcoin mining or Cadena mining, I'm thinking of hydro whales, I'm thinking of Cadena hashing, and here Alpha Shares is actually bringing a twist to their NFT collection. They are not only doing a Bitcoin mining, but they're also doing antimony refining. Now we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of all of this and what this means and all of the different tiers that they are offering in terms of their NFT sale. But first, the reserve NFT, which is the one that is combining the Bitcoin mining as well as the antimony refining. They have 3,000 of these NFTs, and each of these NFTs are going for $1,000. Now, as we can see on this landing page, these NFTs, or this round of NFTs, is launching on February 28th or in about 9 days. Now, the way you can see if you're eligible or not for this NFT sale for this first round and for what they call the reserve NFTs, which again is combining the Bitcoin mining with the antimony refining, you can paste your wallet address in here and see whether or not you are eligible for their mint. And the requirements are as followed here. You only have to satisfy one and you'll be able to mint one of these reserve NFTs. Now, before we get further into the different tiers of NFTs and all of that stuff, let's first understand what is the investing opportunity here. What are we investing in if we purchase one of these NFTs? And we have to understand that this is a mining farm for Bitcoin, which is in Paraguay, and Paraguay is really important for this project. The reason that is because Paraguay is one of the top countries producing hydroelectric energy. And if you're unfamiliar with that, it's essentially energy that's created from dams, and they are going to have a very competitive rate when it comes to their electricity cost per hour. They are essentially having a rate of around $0.03 or 3 cents per kilowatt hour. And that is probably the lowest rate I've ever seen. If you take a second and you go on Google and you Google your own electricity cost, you're going to see that you're paying a lot more than 3 cents. Now, essentially what this means is that even if the price of Bitcoin is fluctuating on the low side of the scale, they can still be profitable because their electricity expenses are a lot lower than other projects, or whether or not you're doing this at home, they can offer a much cheaper electricity cost. Now, moving on to how to participate for this. As we've said, you can obviously participate by buying one of these NFTs, but there's also another project, which is the DeFi arm of Alpha Shares, and that one there is called Momentum Finance. And if you're unfamiliar with Momentum Finance, they have their own token. So you can buy the MAS token and stake it into their singularities, which is essentially going to be another way of participating in this Bitcoin mining farm. Now, we are again going to get into more details in a second here, but I just wanted to highlight that Momentum Finance has a limited amount of supply. Right now, their total supply is around 892,000 MAS tokens. And if we take a look at the top holder here, this is their singularity pool, and about 84% of the entire supply of MAS is staked in that pool. And essentially, this pool is going to earn a portion of the revenue that this mining farm is going to generate. Now, the reason I say that is because Momentum's treasury is actually going to own 395 of these premium NFTs, or also known as reserve NFTs. So if we take a look at 395, if we round it up to 400 NFTs, and if we assume that everything is sold out, well, you can understand that Momentum's treasury can actually generate about $40,000 per month. And if you are participating in their singularities, you can actually own a percentage of those singularities of that entire pool, and you would be entitled to your percentage of that pool from the 40,000 that they generate, as well as all of the other investments they have, which is shared proportionally to all of the mass holders who are staked in the singularities. Now that we understand a bit more about the background of this operation, let's take a look at the different tiers of NFTs. So as I mentioned earlier, the initial mint date of these reserve NFTs, which are the higher or more expensive NFTs, is coming on February 28th. And this is not open to the entire public. As I mentioned, you do have to check whether or not you are eligible. And they are also saying that they have a lot of businesses, they have a lot of projects looking to invest in these NFTs. So these NFTs are going to cost $1,000 per NFT. Of course, that is definitely a lot more expensive than other NFTs. Then they estimate an APR of around 75 to 125%. There's only one tier of these, meaning that there is only 3,000 of these NFTs. And the revenue multiplier is ×5, which essentially means that this is an NFT which is going to generate more money than the basic tier NFT. Now, as I said, this is of course the exclusive access NFT, and another unique aspect of these reserve NFTs is the fact that the antimony refining operation is only going to be accessible through these reserve NFTs. So this means that the basic NFTs are going to only be focused on the Bitcoin mining of things. They won't have anything to do with antimony refining. So here is, of course, why these reserve NFTs are more expensive. There is more to gain from them, so there is a higher cost to them. But if you're looking for a basic NFT, there are going to be different tiers. So there's going to be 4 tiers. All of them are going to have 3,000 NFTs per tier. So we have a tier at $250, and it keeps going up all the way up to $400 as all of these are minted out. Now, to give you a bit more information on antimony and antimony refining, I personally had no idea what this was, but on their website, they do have some good information here. They have a lot of use cases, and they actually have an expert who literally did this for 5+ years. That is also on the team, so it's great to have the right people on the team to partake in an opportunity like this. So you can go ahead and read this, but I just want to give you some of the use cases of antimony refining or antimony as a whole. It can be used as a flame retardant. It can also be used in glass production, also used in pigments. Again, please go ahead and read all of this for you. Can be used in catalysts, fireworks, and munitions. So there is definitely a use case for antimony, and I'm pretty sure that this is the first Web3 company literally going into a commodity business or antimony refining per se, and this is obviously opening a lot of doors for Web3 investors to invest in something that is definitely more on the industrial side. Now, going back to their white paper, let's take a look at the roadmap for these NFTs and exactly what's going to happen when these NFTs sell out. So as I mentioned, the first round, which is on February 28th, is going to be these reserve NFTs, which are going to cost $1,000 per NFT and are only accessible if you have met one of these requirements. Now, as we can see, we have all of the assumptions here. We can assume a price of Bitcoin of $20 22,000. Right now, Bitcoin is around 24,000. But again, these are all predictions and assumptions. So if the price of Bitcoin is higher, well, you can imagine that you can make more as you mine, but the opposite is also true. So as we know, we have 3,000 of these reserve NFTs with a 5x revenue multiplier, which means that there's going to be 18,000 shares for this first round. Now, what's going to happen with this money that they raise? They're going to essentially buy a 40-foot mining container, which is going to contain about 305 ant miners to mine Bitcoin. And the other 1.5 million is actually going to go into the antimony refining, and that's going to start that operation. So as we take a look at these predictions, if we have 305 ant miners, this is going to produce about $96,000, of course, at the current price of Bitcoin, and this is per month. If you divide that by your 3,000 NFTs, that's going to give you about $32 per month from the Bitcoin mining operation. But now, of course, there's also the antimony refining, and again, this is exclusive to the reserve NFTs, and with this initial $1.5 million investment, they are assuming or predicting that they can produce 40 tons of antimony per month, which is equal to about $114,000 at the current price of antimony, which is going to give an additional $38 for these reserve NFTs. And again, this is per month. So the total of one reserve NFT, combining the mining operation as well as the antimony refining, comes down to $70 per month. Now, of course, you have to understand that these numbers are going to change. It all depends on the prices of Bitcoin, on the prices of antimony, and of course, whether or not these collections sell out. So as we move on to the public NFTs, we have the phase 1, which is going to be 3,000 NFTs, all costing $250. And as we can see, with the money they raised from this phase 1, they are going to purchase an additional 20-foot mining container for Bitcoin mining. And as we can see, with the current price of Bitcoin, this would pay out about $8 per month for these NFTs. Now, what's interesting here is if you have a reserve NFT, of course, you are going to see your monthly payout go up because they have more and more Bitcoin miners. And of course, the revenue share of those reserve NFTs is higher than your basic NFTs. So as we can see, the monthly payout for those reserve NFTs has gone up to 40.35 cents as opposed to what it was here when it was at $32. So of course, the reserve mining NFTs are a lot more expensive, but there's a lot more benefits to it. Now, if we take a look at phase 2, this is an additional 20-foot container. Once this sells out, you can see that now people owning a basic NFT are going to get about $10 per month, and the reserve NFTs are going to get about $48 from the Bitcoin mining. But of course, you also have that $38 coming from antimony refining. Now, as we move on and we go to, let's say, phase 4, the final sale, where everything is sold out, you're going to be able to get about $13 for owning a basic NFT, and you're going to be able to get about $102 if you have that reserve NFT, which comes from $64 from the Bitcoin mining operation and an additional $38 from the antimony refining. Now, again, I want to emphasize that these numbers are all dependent on the price of Bitcoin as well as the price of antimony. Now, to summarize everything, if we assume that Bitcoin stays around 22,000, we have the entire NFT collection sell out. This includes the reserve NFTs as well as the basic NFTs. We assume that the antimony refining can make $38 per month per NFT. Well, your reserve NFT could potentially bring you up to $100 per month. Now, because these NFTs cost $1,000 each, that's about a 10% ROI per month. Now, of course, it all depends on the price of Bitcoin and the price of antimony, which could obviously make this $100 a month a lot more or a lot less. And again, this is assuming that the entire collection, which includes all of these NFTs, are sold out. So these are basically the NFTs that are coming out under Alpha Share's umbrella for their operation in Paraguay. And remember that you can also participate through momentum. So of course, if you go with the singularities, you own the mass token and you basically have a liquid portion that you can always sell whenever you want. But on the other hand, if you have an NFT, you always have a specific portion of that revenue, because the momentum side of things and the singularity side of things, the pool and your amount of the pool that you own can always fluctuate as people buy or sell the mass token. So there was a whole lot of information in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, join their Discord, join my Discord, ask any questions you may have. And with all of that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.